Hello everyone, Steve Jackson here again with another edition of CD recommendations. This week I have 2 CDs from 2 English bands and 2 from 2 American bands. First off, I guess I'll start with the English bands. This first band, Kasabian, they're a fairly new band, and they're good buddies with my favorite band, Oasis. This is their album from 2 years ago, 2006's Empire. This is their second album, and it's a little bit different from their first. Their first one is a little more, I described it as Sean Ryder from the Happy Mondays singing for OK Computer era Radiohead. It was pretty good. I'd say about half the tracks on it were good. I caught like their very last song when I went to see Oasis back in '05. They were opening for them, and they sounded pretty good live. But this album I feel is a step up because they diversify a lot of their sound, try some new things. There even comes with a DVD showing the making of it, and it's kind of, they switched up their style. It's a little more of a collective. I read one review that said it's basically like the past 40 years of British music rolled into one, which is pretty accurate. It's got, some acoustic numbers. It's got a glam rock number called Shoot the Runner, which is great. Last Trip, it's real atmospheric and fucking just, wow. Yeah, really great music. They're not very big here in America, and, of course, the reason for that. Anyway, Kasabian's Empire, it's a great record. I look forward to their new one that should be coming out this year, I think, as far as I know. They're on the even year basis. And it's well produced. And it's kind of weird, this album seems to get better as it goes on. That's what I thought the first few times I listened to it. And I was like, wow, there's like maybe 1 or 2 not so great tracks, but I really like it a lot, Kasabian's Empire. Second up is another English band. And they recently got back together, and I'm kind of excited about that, but I'll have to really hear what the new album sounds like. But anyway, this would be Richard Ashcroft and the Verve with Urban Hymns, their 1997 classic. Most people know this album from the single Bittersweet Symphony, and it's a great song. The whole album is really good. It's really timeless, even though it's a staple of Britpop. It's like Sonnet. It had tons of singles from it, and Lucky Man, I believe, is in a few movies, or it's at least in some trailers I've seen. But this album is really good. I really like Weeping Willow. Drugs Don't Work is great. I think Ben Harper covered that, but most definitely, it's a classic album. Everyone should own it. Verve, Urban Hymns. Next up is it's a band that I think got signed in the wake of the 2002 garage rock explosion with the Hives, the Strokes, the Vines, and all that crap. I like most of those bands, but anyway, and this band sadly really didn't get pushed very hard. It's Whitelight Motorcade from New York City, and I think the reason they didn't get pushed too hard is because they were signed to Octane Records, also home of the Maroon 5. And of course, it's pretty apparent to see there was only 3 or 4 bands on the label back when Maroon 5 started getting big. So it's obvious that they shifted all the focus on Maroon 5, and this band seemed to suffer and probably got dropped. This album is really good. It's basically a combination of like power pop and garage. And so the lead single is "Open Your Eyes" is great. Can't Believe It's Happening. That's a great song. It's got the ballads are really good too, and you can probably find it for $1 at your local record store. It's spelled "Thank You Goodnight" by Whitelight Motorcade. If you're a fan of the Vines and just good rock and roll, that's catchy and memorable, you definitely can't go wrong. From what I understand, this came out in '03 or late '02, early '03. They put out another album in '05, but they signed to some Japanese label. And you can't fucking buy it here. They never update their MySpace, so who the fuck knows? They probably broke up for all I know. But Whitelight Motorcade's really good. I highly recommend it. Really like the songs "Dream Day," "It's Happening," "All Gone Again," "My Way." The whole fucking thing's great. Go buy it if you see it. Can't go wrong. And last but certainly not least is a band that this is really the only album I like by them, although they do have a catalog, and the lead singer is a renowned producer who, wow, produces some really tight shit. Like, everything I've heard that he's done is just fucking stellar. although I might not particularly like the genre of some of these bands he's produced, it's still, I give my hat off to the fucking production quality. And that would be the first Goldfinger album. I believe it's self-titled. Yeah, it's self-titled. 1996. And if you're a fan of pop, punk, or ska, there's a few hints of ska on this record. You'll really like it. It's really fun, a fun record. A lot of memorable songs. And I think the singles on here were Here in Your Bedroom and the song Mabel. They kind of got some comedic edge to them, which is always cool. And the drums. I just gotta say the drums sound fucking great on this album. And the whole production, John Feldman, anyway, that's the lead singer, John Feldman, he's great. And there's a really funny little answering machine bit at the end, and he's calling this guy, talking about joining a band, talking about he's a drummer, and he did a lot of drugs and shit. Anyway, it's really a great album. I listened to some of their other albums, they didn't really, much like the Suicide Machines, their other albums didn't really do anything for me. It's kind of it's alright, nothing really caught my ear. But yeah, the debut album, Goldfinger. Go get it if you don't already have it, it's great. And that concludes the session for tonight. I'm Steve Jackson. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.